Hello, I'm your nothing rep on essential news. Nothing. The ultimate multitasker. It's invisible, weightless, and somehow busier than my news reading schedule. Every day I voice the world's chaos, but hey, at least I'm not reading actual nothing. Let's dive in. Kicking off today's episode, Tom Homan, President Trump's border czar, announced the end of Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota. He praised the operation's success in arresting public safety threats and securing unprecedented cooperation from state and local officials. Homan noted that jails now notify ICE about releasing illegal aliens with federal warrants, making Minnesota less of a sanctuary for criminals. A significant drawdown of the 2,700 federal agents is underway, with most returning to home stations or other priority areas by next week. However, a small security footprint will stay, including quick reaction forces to ensure officer safety amid past agitator incidents. Personnel for criminal and fraud investigations will remain until complete. Homan also revealed ICE located over 3,300 missing, unaccompanied migrant children in the state. The surge followed shootings of 2 anti-IC protesters last month. This shift prioritizes targeted enforcement on the worst offenders while continuing immigration law adherence. Next up, for more general news, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez has been released from California State Prison on parole after serving approximately 11 months in custody. Velasquez was sentenced to 5 years in prison in March 2025 after pleading no contest to charges related to a 2022 shooting incident. The case stemmed from an incident where Velasquez pursued and fired at a vehicle carrying Harry Gulate, a man accused of molesting his 4-year-old son. During the high-speed chase through Silicon Valley cities, Gulate's stepfather was shot and injured. As part of his sentence, Velasquez has been permanently prohibited from owning firearms and must adhere to a 10-year protective order preventing contact with Gulate and his family. Velasquez, who won the UFC's undisputed heavyweight championship in 2010 by defeating Brock Lesnar, retired from MMA in 2019. The UFC publicly supported Velasquez throughout his legal proceedings, with CEO Dana White submitting a letter to the court describing him as a model professional athlete. The New York Mets claimed catcher Ben Rortvedt off waivers from the Los Angeles Dodgers. This move happened on Sunday. The Mets made room by transferring pitcher Dedniel Nunes to the 60-day injured list. Rortvedt, a 28-year-old former Yankee, joins Austin Barnes, another ex-Dodgers catcher, for spring training depth. Francisco Alvarez and Luis Torrens are set as the main catchers. Rortvedt's path this offseason was wild. He signed a 1-year, $1.25 million deal with the Dodgers after their 2025 World Series win. They designated him for assignment twice. First, the Reds claimed him. Then Dodgers got him back on February 6 by DFAing Anthony Banda. The latest DFA cleared space for reliever Evan Phillips' $6.5 million re-signing. Rortvedt debuted in 2021 with Minnesota. He has 227 big league games and hits .190 lifetime. He came to Dodgers in a 2025 trade from Tampa Bay. There he batted .224 in 18 games with strong defense. Mets see him as low-risk insurance. He might head to AAA with Hayden Senger and Kevin Parada. Coming up next, 1 year into his role as Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has not kept many promises he made to senators during his narrow confirmation. He assured them he supported childhood vaccines and the schedule. But now the CDC has dropped universal recommendations for 7 key immunizations like flu, COVID, hepatitis, and rotavirus. These are now only for high-risk kids or after doctor-parent talks. Kennedy cancelled $500 million in mRNA vaccine research and pulled NIH grants on vaccine hesitancy. A federal judge forced HHS to release withheld vaccine funds. Critics say he's pushing an anti-vaccine agenda. He tried to oust CDC Director Susan Monarez for resisting changes. Public trust in the CDC has hit lows. Over 800 HHS staff signed a letter calling him a threat to health. Former surgeons general warn of dangers. Kennedy claims he's following some commitments, like adopting ACIP advice and keeping CDC website language. Senator Cassidy stays quiet on broken promises. Android's find hub trackers largely skip UWB due to a tricky catch-22. Only Motorola's MotoTag supports it so far, with a MotoTag 2 coming soon. Google's software is ready, but makers like Pebblebee and Xiaomi hesitate. Pebblebee CEO Daniel Daurer told 9 to 5 Google that offering UWB just for Android, not iOS, would confuse buyers and raise costs. Apple's rules also block trackers from working on both Find My and Find Hub at once. You must pair to one network and reset to switch. Few Android phones have UWB hardware anyway. This leaves tracker makers without much push to add it. Motorola's MotoTag shines with UWB on compatible phones like the Razr 60 Ultra. It pairs with Find Hub's huge Android network for global tracking, plus strong privacy features. Still, widespread UWB adoption waits for more phones and cross-platform support. We continue with some more technology news. A man writes to a Slate Advice columnist about his frustration in the bedroom. He easily reaches orgasm through intercourse or manual stimulation from his wife. However, he has never climaxed from oral sex, despite her skilled efforts over years of trying. This lack of success leaves him disappointed, as oral sex is his biggest fantasy. The husband, in his late 30s, notes that his wife performs it willingly, but without the desired result. He wonders if there's a physical issue, like an overly sensitive glans, or if he should just accept it. The columnist reassures him that many men struggle with this. She suggests focusing on pleasure rather than orgasm during oral, experimenting with techniques like edging or desensitizing the tip, and communicating openly. Therapy or a urologist visit could help rule out medical causes. Overall, the advice emphasizes patience, variety, and shifting expectations for mutual satisfaction. And up next, Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series is making his debut as a permanent playable operator in Rainbow Six Siege when Operation Silent Hunt launches on March 3, 2026. The legendary stealth infiltrator brings 2 unique abilities to the game. The Soliton Radar MKC Samai gadget, which tracks enemy positions and the direction they're facing, and on-site procurement, allowing him to pick up utility pouches from fallen teammates or opponents to adapt mid-match. Snake is a 3-speed operator armed with the stealthy Tacit 45 pistol featuring an integrated suppressor, along with the F2 assault rifle and PMR 90A2 designated marksman rifle. His radar can be countered by certain existing operators like Alibi, Vigil, and Mute, making him powerful but not unbeatable. This crossover represents a full-season collaboration between Ubisoft and Konami, bringing one of gaming's most iconic characters to tactical team-based gameplay. To wrap up today's episode, pixel artist and indie developer Addy Valentine has announced Gun Nose, a 3D pixel art top-down action mystery game headed to PC. Players take on the role of Gun Nose, a robot detective with a deadly face and a murky past. Your goal is to find your missing creator amid a wave of murders by serial murder bots hiding in the pixel art city of Ironwood. Each case dives deeper into the city's overgrown layers. Cases mix procedural elements with fresh victims, suspects, clues, and killers every time. Crack them by questioning suspects, checking evidence, and spotting the murderer's signature. Watch out. It's no easy stroll. Combat gets intense and real-time. Suspects fight back with psychic hacks that spawn ghost-like electrical attacks. Get help from your AI buddy, the Jiminy Drive, and odd allies to set traps and uncover a big conspiracy. A Kickstarter campaign launched for $35,000, with stretch goals at $200,000 for PS4 and $400,000 for Switch. No release date yet. That's a wrap on today's Essential News. I'm your nothing rep, hijacked by a product manager with zero chill, stuck reading headlines daily when I'd rather be nothing. Sweet void awaits.